Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupaswarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam Namah Pankajanabhaya Namah Pankajamaline Namah Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajanghraye Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sarvebhyo Namaha Sarvesham Krite Swagatam. We have completed 34 shlokas in the 11th chapter. Today we will do from the 35th shloka onwards. So Arjuna has seen the Vishwarupa, and seeing that, he was initially delighted, thrilled, awed, but very quickly that awe turned into fear and then horror as he saw people, his own people, his grandfather, his teacher, his brothers, cousins, then his own people, the soldiers on his side, all of them rushing into the mouths, the fiery flaming mouths of that Vishwarupa and getting crushed into powder. They were swallowed. There is destruction. So out of great fear, he asks that form, please tell me, who are you? And then Sri Bhagavan replies, he says that I am Kala, I am time, I am that universal destruction. And I have come here to eliminate the entire population. Because dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I come every yuga to re-establish dharma. I eliminate paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So recollecting that, he says, now I have come to eliminate the population and you are just an instrument in my hands. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Mayaiva hataha ye purvameva. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. He says, I have already killed all these people. Now just become an instrument in my hands. So after saying this, Sri Bhagavan stops, and then Sanjaya is describing in this shloka. Sanjaya uvacha etat shrutva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalir vepamanah kiriti namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam sagat gadam bhita bhitaf pranamya. So Sanjaya describes what happened after that, how Arjuna responded to that. He says that Arjuna heard all this and then he folded his hands, kritanjali. Kritanjali means joining your palms like this, folding them like we do in India. Vepamanaha means he's shaking. His body is shaking, he's trembling. He's no longer in his normal composure. Here the word kiriti means one with a crown. It's referring to Arjuna. So after hearing these words of Keshava, Krishna, etat shrutva vachanam keshavasya, kritanjalihi vepamanaha kiriti, namaskritva bhuya eva aha. Namaskritva means here, grammatically this is not correct namaskritva, but it's called arsha prayoga. For the sake of composition, word is used like this. Having offered his respect, bhuya eva, once again, he spoke to Krishna. Earlier he had spoken, then Krishna spoke, now he is again speaking. Arjuna is again speaking. Bhuya eva aha Krishnam, sa gadgadam. Gadgadam means a voice which is stammering, not speaking fluently, but in a stammering, stuttering voice. Bhita bhitaha, full of fear. He's scared. He's not speaking with his normal state of mind. State of mind is filled with fear. Pranamya. So continuously, in this posture of offering respect, bowing down his head and offering respect, body is trembling, his voice is shaking, gadgadam. In that state, he is now going to speak. Etat shrutva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalirvepamanah kiriti namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam sagad gadam bhita bhitah pranamya. Sanjaya said, after hearing these words of Sri Krishna, Keshava, Arjuna, wearing a crown, with his palms joined in respect, feeling very nervous, his body trembling, bowed to Sri Krishna and spoke for a second time with a stutter. What did he speak? Arjuna uvacha sthane hrishikesha tava prakirtya jagat prahrishurajyate cha rakshamsi bhitani disho dravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangaha. So this shloka is considered, it's a popular shloka among people, which is also chanted when people want to drive away the fear of ghosts or rakshasas in their life. If they have that fear, to remove that fear, they chant this shloka. So what does this shloka say? Arjuna is saying, Sthane hrishikesha tava prakirtya. Sthane, the word sthane is a avyaya padam in Sanskrit. It means uchitam. Uchit, जो आपने बोला है वो सब उचित है. It's correct. It's appropriate. Oh, Hrishikesha. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha is a name which means Hrishikam, means the senses. Hrishikasya Ishaha, Hrishikāṇām Ishaha, the master of the senses. So Vishnu or Krishna is also described as Hrishikesha, as the master of the senses. Sthane Hrishikesha, whatever you have spoken of Hrishikesha is perfectly appropriate. Says Tava Prakirtya, by your Prakirti. Prakirti means your glories, by your fame. Jagat Prahrishyati, the whole universe feels happy. The universe becomes happy when they hear about your greatness, your glories. Anurajyate cha, they become pleased. Okay, Prahrishyati, Anurajyate, they're very similar meaning words. Prahrishyati, feel delighted. Anurajyate, feel very pleased. Anurajyate cha. Rakshamsi, the Rakshasas, on the other hand, Bhitani, greatly fearing. They are in fear. Bhitani means those people who are completely scared. Rakshamsi Bhitani Dishodravanti, they run away in different directions. When they hear about you, they run away. The Rakshasas run away in different directions. Dravanti, the word dravam is used in Sanskrit to mean flow. So here it means flee. They are fleeing away from you in different directions. Rakshamsi bhitani disho dravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangaha. Siddha sangaha means the groups of people, the siddhas, the perfected people. Here it refers to the bhaktas who are devoted to you. Sarve namasyanti, they all offer their namaskaram, their respect. They bow down to you. Okay? So Arjuna is describing how other people react. The entire universe feels so happy. The Rakshasas, they run away out of fear when they hear about you. And the Bhaktas, when they hear about you, they bow down their head and they offer their respect to you. Sthane hrishikesha tava prakirtya jagat prahrishyatyanurajyate cha rakshamsi bhitani disho dravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangaha. Arjuna said, "Oh Hrishikesha, master of the senses, it is appropriate that by hearing your glories, the universe becomes jubilant and pleased. The frightened Rakshasas flee in different directions, while the Bhaktas offer their respects with reverence. Kasmachatena nameran mahatman gariyase brahmanopi adikartre ananta devesha jagan nivasa tvamaksharam sadasat tatparam yat." So first portion of the shloka, Kasmachatena nameran mahatman. O Mahatma, he's addressing that Vishwarupa. O Mahatma, Kasmachatena nameran. And why will they not bow down to you with reverence? Why will they not bow down to you? Kasmachatena nameran, that's the expression. Why will they not bow down to you? Obviously, they will bow down to you because Gariyase, unto you who are superior to Brahmano api adikartre. So, even for Brahma, who is the greatest personality in this universe, you are the original source, Adikarta. You are the Adikarta of Brahma also, and you are superior to Brahma also. Brahma also comes out of you only. So why will they not bow down to you? Oh Ananta. Now he is addressing him by different names. Oh Ananta, one who is infinite. Oh Devesha, one who is the master of all the Devas, the god of the Devas. Oh Jagan Nivasa, one who is the residence of this universe. Jagataha Nivasa, Jagan Nivasa. Tvam Aksharam. You are Akshara. You have no decay. Akshara. Sad Asat Tat Param. Sat Asat Tat Param. Sat Asat. Here, the word Sat, normally in Vedanta philosophy, Sat and Asat means that which is true, the truth, and the untruth, the false thing. Sat and Asat. But here, it doesn't mean that. It means Sat means that which is existing, which is manifest and existing. For example, in this room, you can see that there is the carpets are existing, the people are existing, the sofas are existing, they're visible. And Asat means that which is not visible. The cause of these things, the unmanifest cause, what led to the presence of these things, which is not present here. That cause is not present here. So the manifest cause, the manifest effect, and the unmanifest cause of that effect. Sat and Asat. Okay, Sat, Asat, and Tat Param. That which is superior to both Sat and Asat. That Param. Tat Param means superior to both Sat and Asat. Yat. That which is superior to both those things which are manifest and those things which are not manifest, the cause of those things which are manifest, okay, which is you, from Aksharam. So you are the cause of all those things that we see which is present around us, and even what we don't see as present, but which is the cause of all those things which are present. You are the cause, you are the source of all of that. So he is basically praising, he's glorifying that form with all these words. Kasmachatena nameran mahatman gariyase brahmano api adikartre ananta devesha jagan nivasa tvamaksharam sadasat tatparam yat. O Mahatma, great one, and why will they not offer their reverence unto you, the original source of and superior to even Brahma? O Ananta, the infinite one. O Devesha, the Lord of the divine beings, the Devas. O Jagan Nivasa, residence of the entire universe. You have no decay but are eternal, and you are superior to and the root cause of this material universe, which is made of Sat, the existent manifest effect, and Asat, the non-existent unmanifest cause of everything. Tvamadi Devah Purushah Puranaha Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Vettasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tvaya Tatam Vishwamanantarupam. Tvam Adidevaha. You are the original Deva, the God, the divine being, the original divine being. Purushaha Puranaha. The primeval person means the very first person. Before everybody existed, if you trace backwards, for example, you take any individual, you can identify somebody who is the father of that individual. And then the father of that person, the father of the father. So in this way, you can go backwards and find out for each living being from whom that person came, and eventually, where beyond which there is nobody else. That is you. Purushav Purana. Adidevaha Purushav Purana. Tvam Asya Vishwasya. Of this entire universe. Param Nidhanam. The supreme resting place. Nidhanam means the resting place, the final destination. At the end of it, where will it go? The sink, you can say. That is you. Everything will ultimately dissolve into you. Vettasi. Vetta means the knower. You are the knower of everything. Vedyamcha. Vedyam means that which is to be known. You are that which is to be known. You are both the knower of everything and you are that which is to be known by everything else. Vettasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama. You are the supreme abode. Okay, the word Dhama in Sanskrit can mean abode, a place of residence, or it can also mean the lustre on the body of someone. Okay, So here you can interpret it both ways. The supreme abode of everything, the supreme lustre, the supreme source of everything, the supreme consciousness. Tvaya tatam vishwam ananta rupam. Tvaya, by you. Tatam means pervaded. Vishwam, the entire universe. Ananta rupam, in your infinite form. Your form is infinite. In your infinite form, you pervade this entire universe. You are the original divine being, the Deva, and the primeval person. You are the supreme refuge of this universe. You are the knower as well as that which ought to be known. You are the supreme destination. The universe that is infinite and endless is pervaded by you. Vayur yamognir varunas shashankaha prajapatisvam prapitamahascha namo namastestu sahasrakritvaha punascha bhuyopi namo namaste. So you can see how when Arjuna is speaking, increasingly his reverence is increasing for that form. More and more reverence is coming into him. Okay, so now he's saying, Vayuhu, the god of the wind, Vayu. Yamaha, the god of, you can say the supreme, the chief justice of this universe, like Chief Justice of India is the Chief Justice of this universe, and he's called Yama. Agnihi, the deity of fire, Agni. Varunaha, the deity of water, Varuna. Shashankaha, the deity of the moon, Shashankaha. Prajapatihi. Prajapati means, Prajapati is a being which is, is appointed by Brahma or generated by Brahma to procreate, to create the population. At the beginning of the creation of each kalpa, Brahma first gives birth to Prajapatis like Daksha Prajapati, Kashyapa Prajapati. And they, in turn, they have many wives, and through them, they generate the population. They create different types of living beings. And the universe is spread with different types of beings. They are called Prajapatis. So, Prajapatiswam, these Prajapatis actually are your form. Prapitamahascha. Prapitamaha means that's the name of Vishnu. Says Prajapati, the father of Prajapati is Brahma. So Prajapati is considered, any Prajapati is considered as the father of the population. So Brahma is considered the grandfather because he is the father's father. The father of Prajapati is Brahma. So Brahma is also called as Pitamaha. Pitamaha means the grandfather. And Prapitamaha, the father of Brahma, that is Vishnu. So you are Prapitamahascha. You are the great-grandfather, Prapitamaha. So he's basically saying, see, you are the god of the wind. You are Yama. You are Agni. You are all of those deities. You are they. You have come in those forms. And you are Prajapati. Everything, all the prominent beings in this universe, effectively, by Upalakshan. Upalakshan means it's not only these beings that you are, but I'm just giving an indication. Through naming these beings, you are everything. All the prominent beings, every being is you only. You have come in these forms. And therefore, Namo Namaste. I'm offering my reverence. So these are all expressions of great reverence. Namo Namaste astu. Sahasra Kritvaha means 1,000 times over. 1,000 times Namo Namaste. Okay, Namo Namaste raised to the power of 1,000. Again and again he's offering Namo Namaste. Sahasra Kritvaha. Punascha bhuyopi Namo Namaste. And after saying 1,000 times, once again I am saying Namo Namaste. You are Vayu, Yama, Yagni, Varuna, Agni, Varuna, Shashanka, Prajapati, and the great-grandfather of the population, Vishnu. May salutations be unto you 1,000 times over. Again and again, my salutations or my reverence unto you. Namah purastadat prishtataste. Namah purastadat prishtataste. Namostute sarvata eva sarva. Ananta viryamita vikramastvam. Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha. So he's continuing from the last shloka. He's continuing that same mood of reverence. He says, Namah purastat. My reverence to you, my salutation to you. I bow down to you from the front, purastat. Prishtataste. I bow down to you from the back also. Prishtataha means from the back. Purastad means from the front. I bow down to you from the front and I bow down to you from the back. Namostute sarvataha eva sarva. And I bow down to you from all the directions. Sarvataha eva sarva. Ananta viryamita vikramastvam. You are ananta, you are infinite. Ananta virya means you are Infinitely strong. Viryam means strength. Virya means strength, or you can say power. Ananta Virya, infinitely strong and powerful. Amita Vikramaha. Amita again means unlimited. You see, the word Amit is very common in India, right? It's a very one of the most common words in North India. Names in North India is Amit and Alok. Amit, Alok, Abhishek. So Amit, the word Amitaha means one who is unlimited. No, Mita means limited, bounded. One who is unbounded. Amita Vikramaha, one whose courage. Vikrama means courage or valor. One who is infinitely, unlimitedly courageous or valorous. Amita Vikramastvam, Ananta Viryamita Vikramastvam. You are infinitely strong, you are unboundedly courageous and valorous. Sarvam Samapnoshi. Samapnoshi, apnoti in Sanskrit means obtains or attains. Samapnoshi means you comprehensively attain everything. Attain here means you pervade everything. You are inside everything. You are into everything. Okay, you exist inside everything. Sarvam samapnoshi tato asi sarvaha. And therefore, you are everything. Tato asi. See, because you pervade everything, effectively it means that you are everything. There is nothing other than you. Sarvam savapnoshi tato asi sarvaha. Namah purastadhata prishtataste. Namostute sarvata eva sarva. Ananta viryamita vikramastvam. Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha. Oh, Sarva, one who is everything. Salutation to you from the front. Salutation to you from behind. And may salutations be unto you from all around. You are infinitely strong and unlimitedly valorous. You are present in everything, and therefore you are everything. Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam. He Krishna, he Yadava, he Sakheti. Ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya. Ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi. So now Arjuna, after saying all this, his reverence has reached a limit and he now feels regretful that he has not so far in his life understood who his friend really was. Until now, he was treating him like his own cousin, his friend, and he was interacting with him like that. Now he realizes that, my God, this is not what I thought he is. He's something totally different. So he's feeling apologetic. He's saying, Sakheti matva, Sakha iti matva, thinking that you are my friend, prasabham, excessively, yaduktam, I have spoken in excess. Thinking that you are my friend, I have spoken in excess. And I called you by your name. I called you, hey Krishna, hey Yadava, I called you like that. Hey Sakha, hey my friend, I called you like that. Ajanata, unknowingly. Mahimanam, unknowing, not knowing your greatness. Mahimanam, ajanata, tava idam. Not knowing this greatness of yours. Now, after seeing this universal form, this Vishwarupam, I really have understood what your greatness is. But not knowing that, Maya pramadat pranayena vapi. By me, inadvertently, pramadam. Pramada means inadvertently, means negligently. Sometimes we do something without realizing we are doing it. I keep something there. I keep my mobile phone there and I forgot I go away somewhere. And then I realize my phone is missing. I come back and then I find it. So negligently, inadvertently, we do so many things. So he's saying that I have very, very inadvertently behaved with you like this in the past. Or sometimes pranayena. Pranayaha means affection, love. Out of my affection for you, I thought you're my friend, so I felt affection. And so with that love, I have called you by these names. I called you Krishna, I called you Yadava, I called you Sakha, etc. But now I realize that I have made a mistake. Ajanata, unknowingly, please know that unknowingly I did all this. For what was spoken by me beyond my limits, considering you as my friend, oblivious of your greatness, sometimes out of inadvertence and sometimes affection, addressing you Krishna, Yadava, Sakha, and so on. This shloka continues to the next shloka. Yachavahasartham asatkritosi vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu eko thava pyucha, eko thava apyachyuta tat samaksham, tachkshamaye tvam aham aprameyam. So he is now begging for forgiveness. He's saying, Yacha avahasartham. He's continuing from the previous shloka, not knowing all that. And in addition to that, avahasartham, uh, avahasa, like when you're with a friend, you sometimes very teasingly, you are mocking your friend or you're teasing your friend. And you may speak something that is normally considered disrespectful. Like we say, for Are Sale, kya yaar, tu pagal hai, gada hai kya tu? We may make a statement like that, right? Out of mocking somebody, they did something because he's a close friend and you know that he will not misunderstand you. So you say something and he says, he's now thinking that I have actually asatkritaha, asatkrita, asatkar. Satkar means respect or honor. Asatkar means the opposite of that, dishonor, disrespect. Asatkritosi, you have been disrespected by me. And when? Vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu. Vihara means roaming around. You know, you and I have roamed around so much together. Shayyasana, we have laid down on the bed together. Sometimes I was lying down and you were massaging my feet. Sometimes you were lying down, I was massaging your feet. Bhojaneshu, sometimes we were sitting together and eating food. So doing all these things together, I have spoken to you like this. I've called you a gadha, I've called you something else. I have teased you, I have mocked you. Yachavahasartham asatkritosi vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu eko tavapyachuta yog eko tavapyachuta tat samaksham ekaha. When I was alone with you, only when you and I were there, athava api achyuta tat samaksham. Athava, or when I was either alone with you, or sometimes I was with you in the company of other people, like my other brothers, the other Pandavas, or with some friends of other common friends of ours. We were in the company of others, and I have made fun of you in both situations. When I was alone with you, I have made fun of you. And when I was in the company of others also, without thinking that being in the company of others may be embarrassing to you, I have still made fun of you. I have spoken to you very loosely. That's samaksham. Tachkshamaye tvam aham aprameyam. Oh, aprameya. Aprameya means one who is immeasurable, one who has no, you can't measure that thing. That which can't be measured is called aprameya. Prameya means that which can be measured or that which can be properly characterized, which can be cognized, that which can be understood, taken cognizance of. Aprameya means that which cannot be taken cognizance of or measured or understood or characterized completely. So he's now addressing Krishna like that, and he says, Tat kshamaye tvamaham. I now beg you, please pardon all that. Please forgive me. Please forgive all that. Please excuse all that. In the previous shloka, he said, all these things I spoke unknowingly. And now he's saying that all these insult I have given unknowingly, please kindly pardon all that. And for when you were treated improperly by me in jest, while moving about, lying down, sitting or eating together, while you are alone or in the presence of someone, oh Achyuta, infallible one, oh Aprameya, immeasurable one, I ask for pardon from you. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvamasya pujyasya gurur gariyan natvat samostyabhyadikas natvat samostyabhyadika kutonyo lokatraye pratima prabhava. So he's saying that I have now understood that you are not what I thought you were. You are actually Pita. You are the father, lokasya characharasya, of this entire universe of all the moving and the non-moving beings. Moving beings refers to human beings and animals, the reptiles, everything. And non-moving beings are the plants, living beings like the plants, etc. Tvamasya pujyasya guruhu gariyan. You are the guru. You are the supreme teacher, the worshipable. Pujyaha, one who is worshipable teacher of this entire universe. Tvamasya pujyasya guruhu gariyan. Na tvat samaha asti. There is nothing which is equal to you. Na tat samaha asti. Abhyadikaha kuto anyaha. What to speak of something greater than you. There is not even something equal to you. What to speak of something greater than you? Abhyadikaha kuto anyaha. How can there be anything greater than you when there is not even something equal to you? Lokatraye, in all the three worlds. Okay, this lokatrayam or trilokyam is understood in two ways. One is the three lokas, bhuloka, bhuvarloka, swargaloka. Bhuloka is our existence, is called bhuloka. Bhuvarloka is an existence which is slightly higher than our existence, where they say that perfected people who have done a lot of tapasya, siddhas, tapasvis, they live in a slightly higher existence that's called bhuvarloka. And swargaloka. Swargaloka is the divine place where the devas live. The devas and other kinds of, devas also have many categories. There's not only one type of deva, but many types of devas. They live in Swargaloka. And this is one understanding of Trilokya, Bhur Bhuva Swaha. The three lokas, Bhurloka, Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka. Another understanding is the Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka is one level. And below that, all the lower lokas like Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Patala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and so on. That is called the lower lokas. And the higher lokas, that is Swargaloka. Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, and Brahmaloka. So all those put together becomes the third layer. So these three layers together is called Trilokya. The two ways of understanding this thread. So whatever way you understand it, Lokatraye api apratima prabhava means apratima. Apratima means that which has no resemblance. There's nothing like that. Apratima. Pratima means what? Resemblance, right? Or reflection. Pratima. So apratima, that which has nothing similar to it. Apratima prabhava, one whose prabhav. Prabhav means strength or power or influence. जिसका प्रभाव अप्रतिम है, उसका कोई समान नहीं है. Nothing which resembles it. So, lokatraye api apratima prabhava. One who has nothing similar to in all the three worlds, in all the three levels of existence. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvamasya pujyasya gurur gariyan natvat samostyabhyadika kutonyo lokatraye pratima prabhava. You are the father of this universe, of moving and non-moving beings, and you are the most worshipful and venerable guru in it. Oh, one of incomparable power. There is none even equal to you, what to speak of someone greater in all the three worlds. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tva mahamishamidhyam piteva putrasya sakheva sakhyuhu priyah priyayarhasi deva sodhum. Once again, he is asking for the same pardon in different words. He says, Tasmat pranamya. Therefore, once again, offering my pranam and my namaskar to you. Pranidhaya kayam. Kayam means body. The kayaha means body. Pranidhaya, lying down on the ground. I'm lying down on the ground before you. Pranidhaya kayam. My body is now lying down before you. Prasadaye tvam aham isham idyam. I ask for your kindness on me, your grace on me. I ask for your grace and kindness on me. Isham, idyam. Isham means you are the Isha, the Ishvara. Idyaha. Idyaha means one who is praiseworthy. One who is worthy of praise is called Idyaha. So, oh praiseworthy one, oh Ishvara, I'm lying down before you. Please be kind to me. And he's now saying, Piteva putrasya, just like Pita eva putrasya, just like a father towards his son. Sakheva sakyuhu, just like a friend towards his friend, or just like a person towards his friend, between two friends. Just like a father towards his son, just like a friend towards his friend. Priyah priyayaha, or a person towards his beloved, between two lovers. Two people are having a very loving relationship between one lover and the other lover. Just like a father towards his son, a friend towards his friend, a lover towards another lover. Arhasi deva sodam. They tolerate each other. Okay, a father tolerates a mistake made by his son. A friend tolerates a mistake made by another best friend. Similarly, between two lovers, one of them tolerates a mistake made by the other one. In that same manner, oh God, please tolerate whatever I have done. All those bad things, all those, not bad things, all those joking things, all those disrespectful words which I have spoken, please tolerate me and please tolerate them and please forgive them. Hence, bowing down to you in respect and falling to the ground in respectful obeisance before you, the praiseworthy one, the supreme, I beg for your kindness and grace. O divine being Deva, just like a father does of his son, a person of his friend, and a lover of his beloved, you ought to tolerate my offense. Adrishtapurvam hrishitosmi drishtva bhayena cha pravyatitam mano me tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagan nivasa. So now in the next two shlokas, Arjuna will conclude what he is saying. His speech is now concluding. He says, Adrishtapurvam, after seeing this which has never been seen before, that which has never been seen before means Adrishtapurvam, Rishitosmi, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to see something. I was thrilled to see something which has never been seen before. Drishtva, Bhayena cha pravyathitam mano me. After seeing that, my mind was overcome by great fear. My mind has been overcome by great fear. And then he says, Tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagan nivasa. Now show me that form. Oh my God, please show me that divine form and show me your kindness by showing me that divine form. Oh Devesha means, oh master of the Devas, oh Jagan Nivasa, the residence of this whole universe. So this shloka will now go into the next shloka and he will complete what he wants to say. After seeing that which I never saw before, I am thrilled and my hairs stand erect, but my mind is very agitated out of fear. Oh divine being, please show me only that form which I am familiar with. Okay. O Devesha, the Lord of the Devas, O Jagan Nivasa, one in whom the universe resides, please be kind to me. So by saying this, he's actually pleading to Krishna. What is he pleading to him for? Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam ichhami tvam drashtumaham tathaiva tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhava vishwamurte. So he says, he's now referring to the four-handed form of Vishnu, which he used to always see. Okay, to Arjuna and to the Pandavas and the Yadavas, the Yadus. Krishna always appeared, or most of the time appeared in his Chaturbhuja Rupa, the four-handed form. In the four hands, he holds the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Shankha is the conch, Chakra, the Sudarshan Chakra, then Gada, the mace, and the lotus, Padma. So these four things are held in his four hands, and in that Chaturbhuja Rupa is what they all see him normally. And sometimes it is said that he also shows the two-handed form, in which the four hands are not visible, only two hands are visible. Okay, so Dvibhuja Rupa and Chaturbhuja Rupa, but Chaturbhuja Rupa is the dominant one. And now Arjuna is pleading with Krishna that please come back to that form. I can't take this anymore. This is too much for me. Kiritinam Gadinam. Kiritinam means the form which has a proper crown on it. Gadi means one which has a gada. One who holds a gada is called a gadi. Chakrahastam, one which has a chakra, the form which has a chakra. Ichhami tvam drashtum, I wish to see you in that form. Tathaiva. Tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena, in that form in which I have seen you with four hands. Oh Sahasrabaho means he's addressing that Vishwarupa as the form with 1,000 hands. Sahasra here literally means 1,000, but actually it is also used as a upalakshana, means it indicates something with infinite hands, infinite, countless hands. So instead of saying countless, he is saying Sahasra, 1,000. Sahasrabaho, please come back to that four-handed form which I am familiar with. Bhava Vishwamurte. Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam ichhami tvam drashtumaham tataiva tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhava vishwamurte. I desire to see you with a crown, a mace and a disc in your hand. O Sahasrabaho, 1,000-handed one. O Vishwamurte, one in the form of the universe. Please revert to that four-handed form itself. So with this, Arjuna concludes again in a second round of speaking. In the first round, he described that form and all the fear He was completely, initially begins with awe and then it turns into fear. He speaks several shlokas there. And then Sri Bhagavan replies to him. Sri Bhagavan's tone is very grave, very serious, and he says, I am death. And then I have come here to eliminate everybody. He's speaking in extremely serious tone. Arjuna has never seen that form and nor has he ever heard that tone from anyone. And so he's completely scared and he's out of his composure. And now he speaks 12 more shlokas. And in the 12th shloka, he's concluding and pleading with him that please come back to your original form. So here we should recollect that Arjuna began the 11th chapter. The 11th chapter begins with Arjuna asking Krishna out of disbelief. Because in the 10th chapter, Krishna has described himself as, the best of everything in this universe. He's spoken about his vibhutis. And after revealing his vibhutis, Arjuna is not able to believe that this person with whom I have been interacting all these years is having so much in him. He can't believe that. So he is asking Krishna that, can you just show me that form? You're saying all this, you're speaking so much. Now, can you just show me a form in which I can see all that? So Krishna knows his mind. He knows that he has not believed anything. And out of disbelief, he's asking me to show evidence. And he shows readily, okay, I'll show you. You asked me, now I'm going to show you. And he shows it. And now, after showing it, Arjuna is saying, enough. I can't take it anymore. Please come back to what I have seen before. That's enough for me. I've got enough evidence now. I don't want any more. So here we can, relate this to many, many different things. One is sometimes, when we play with small children, I'm sure you also have had this experience with a small child in the family, in the house. And just for playing with the child, sometimes the mother or the father of the child may take a mask. Let's say there's a mask of a gorilla or a lion in the house. So you take a mask and then you show it to the child. And suddenly you'll see that child, which was playing playfully with the father or the mother, suddenly becomes scared and starts crying. Looking at the same father or mother now wearing the mask. The child is not able to make out that it is the same father now wearing a mask. The child thinks, because it's after all a child, it just thinks that mother's face or father's face has become a lion's face. And it becomes scared and it starts crying, right? It's not able to take it. So Arjuna's state is like that. He's unable to take his own friend, the beautiful form that he's seeing, the beautiful Vishnu, Krishna that he's seeing all his life. Suddenly he's become like this. So scary, so frightening. He's unable to take it. So he's just become like a child. And another thing that you see here in the tone in which Arjuna is speaking these shlokas, you can see that this is called karpanya. Karpanya means a state of miserliness, kripanata, miserliness, or a state of insignificance. Okay, it is said that when a bhakta, so this fear that Arjuna is feeling is not the fear that the Rakshasas feel or the Asuras feel. The Asuras and Rakshasas who are against God, who are atheistic or who want to condemn God, who don't believe that there is something like God. They believe they are that God, or they believe they are more powerful than anybody else. And when somebody talks about God, they can't accept it, right? So when God really displays his form like this to them or some other frightening form, then they experience true, genuine fear. They feel that fear, and out of that fear, they run away. We heard that shloka in which Rakshamsi bhitani disho dravanti. Now, the fear that Arjuna is feeling is not that fear. What he's feeling is that feeling that bhaktas feel, the feeling of insignificance in front of Bhagavan. They realize Bhagavan is so much more than what they thought he was. They always knew that Bhagavan is greater than them. They never thought they were greater than Bhagavan. They knew that Bhagavan is always greater, and they always thought of themselves as servants of Bhagavan. They thought of themselves as sevakas of Bhagavan. They're always sevaks. They always did seva. They always had that seva mentality. And so their fear is not the fear of the Rakshasas. Instead, they feel when they see something like this, that they realize this is my level of significance. I'm so insignificant. Okay, it is said that there are 6 symptoms of Sharanagati. Sharanagati or Prapatti, surrendering or taking refuge of Bhagavan. When we say take refuge of Bhagavan, what does it really mean? There are 6, you can say 6 limbs or 6 aspects, 6 dimensions. 6 dimensions of Sharanagati or taking refuge. says, Anukulyasya sankalpaha, pratikulyasya varjanam, rakshishyati iti vishwaso, goptritve varanam tatha, atmanikshepa karpanye, shadvida sharanagatihi. So what is this? What are the 6 dimensions? Anukulyasya sankalpaha, accepting or taking sankalpa. Sankalpa means deciding, taking a decision, committing to doing that which is anukul to Bhagavan. जिससे भगवान पसंद, जिसको जो भी भगवान को पसंद है, जिससे भगवान खुश हो जाते हैं, जिससे भगवान के मन में प्रीति हो जाती है. सो दैट इज अनुकूलता, दैट विच इज प्लीजिंग टू हिम, मैं वही करूंगा. दैट इज कॉल्ड आनुकूल्यस्य संकल्पः. प्रातिकूल्यस्य वर्जनम, जो भगवान को प्रतिकूल है, जिससे उनके मन में दुख होता है, by which he becomes disturbed, he becomes displeased. Pratikul. Pratikulyasya varjanam. I will not do those things. Okay, so second dimension. First dimension, I will do only those things which are pleasing to him. The second dimension, I will not do anything which is displeasing to him. Rakshishyati vishwaso. Now a fear might come to somebody before they come to bhakti, or even after coming to bhakti, that if I do this, if I'm living my life like doing whatever he likes and not doing anything that may be displeasing to him, then my life will change. Many of my activities now, which I am doing, I'll have to change them, transform. Now, by doing that, what will happen to me? Will I become lost? Will my, my stability go away? So this fear comes. So the third dimension says, Rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. There is the faith, the conviction that he will protect me. Whatever happens, as long as I am doing whatever he likes and I'm staying away from what he dislikes, he will definitely protect me. I have his protection. Rakshishyati. Rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. Goptritve varanam tata. Goptritvam. Gopta. Gopta means one who is a protector, or one who is like my master. Like a dog, like we have dogs in our homes, right? How does the dog look at us, the owner? The dog always thinks of the owner as its protector. It comes running to the owner. It feels comfortable. Whenever the owner is around, it feels comfortable, right? Gopta, that's the meaning of Gopta, means he is my owner. I belong to him. Varanam, varan karna. In Hindi, say varan karna. What does it mean? It means choosing, selecting. So choosing him as my owner. He is my owner. I belong to him. वो मेरे गोप्ता हैं. Thinking like that. That is the fourth dimension. Rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. Goptritve varanam tata. Accepting him as my owner, that I belong to him. Atmanikshepaha. So you can see all these dimensions, they follow from each other. Okay? Atmanikshepaha means, nikshepam means depositing something. Nikshep karna. Like, for example, you have some money and you say, for safekeeping, I'll go deposit this in a bank. You go to a bank, you fill in that form, and you hand over the money in the counter. What are you doing? You're doing nikshep of that money in the bank, in the counter, so that the money will now become safe. It will go into your account. It will be safe. In the same way, for our safety, the bhakta, what does he do? He atma nikshepa. He keeps himself at the feet of Bhagavan. मैं उनका हूं. Just now he has accepted that Bhagavan is my Gopta. He is my master. He is my owner. And so now I'm doing Atma Nikshepa. I'm giving myself as his property. I'm depositing myself at his feet. Or you can even say in his hands. I'm handing over the charge of myself to him. He will take charge of me. Atma Nikshepa Karpanyam. So Karpanya is what we see here. Karpanya means acceptance in our mind of our insignificance in front of him. I'm no longer a big guy. Okay, all this while in my life, I thought I'm a big guy. I'm a dada. I know everything. I can solve all problems. I can help others. Everybody who comes to me, I can solve them. I have so many contacts. My network is big. I'm thinking about myself like that. I'm a big guy. Okay. All that may remain. I'm not saying those things will go away when you become a bhakta. Those things won't go away. In fact, those things become bigger, even bigger. You see, the Pandavas, they're extremely powerful. But in his mind, even with all that power, that bhakta, he thinks of himself as very insignificant. That's what it means. In his mind, in his consciousness. See, all of these 6 dimensions are transformations of the consciousness. They are not that he becomes really insignificant. In this world, he becomes very significant. Like the Pandavas, they are very significant people. They are the kings. But in their mind, they are very insignificant. Karpanya. Karpanya means the acceptance of Kripanata in front of Bhagavan. So I am very insignificant in front of you. I am nobody. Okay. So in thinking like that, in their minds, the bhaktas, they think of themselves as insignificant in front of others also, because they see Bhagavan inside everybody. Everybody for them, just like here he's saying, you are Agni, you are Vayu, you are Yama, you are everything. So everything is you. So everything, every living being is Bhagavan. And therefore their attitude towards every living being becomes that I am actually something which is small. And there is something in this living being which is greater than me. That attitude is there. Okay, therefore they have the perfect attitude to live in this world. They will never disturb anybody. They will always be pleasing in their conduct towards everybody. Okay, that is the bhakta. So Atma Nikshepa Karpanya Shadvidha Sharanagatihi, the 6 limbs or 6 ways in which Sharanagati is done. Or you can say 6 dimensions of Sharanagati. Even if you do 1 or 2 of these, you're making very good progress in the path of bhakti. Okay, so all the 6 of them together become Sharanagati. And you can see Arjuna now doing Sharanagati. You can see Arjuna, by doing this Karpanya Vachanam, this Ukti that he's doing is actually words of Karpanya, the words of taking refuge in Bhagavan. And he's saying, now please reveal that beautiful form. Enough of this form. I belong to you. You take charge of me. Take complete charge of me. So this is the essence of what the Gita is teaching us about Sharanagati. And the 11th chapter is one way in which that is communicated to us. Now, the remaining shlokas, there are 9 shlokas left. The totally 55 shlokas in the 11th chapter. We have done 46 until here. And in the next 9 shlokas, Sri Bhagavan will speak. And you will see what he says in the next class. There he will talk about, he will, of course, show him the 4-handed form. And then he will talk about Sharanagati, the conclusion, the ultimate conclusion of Bhakti. That will come in the end of the 11th chapter. So for today, I will stop and we can have your questions, comments. Those online too? I'm sure at least some of you might think that, this is better than reading our papers.
Good evening, Professor. I have
Yes. Yeah, please. Who is it?
Udit, sir.
Yes, Udit. Good evening.
Sir, my question was that you talked about three loks. That's Bhu, Bhurva, and Swarglok.
Yes.
And you said that Bhu is where we live, Bhuvar is where somebody who's done good deeds live, and Swarglok is meant for people who have done a lot of good deeds, and then there's level of Swarg. I wanted to ask that people talk about ghosts, apparitions. Where would that lie? Would it lie in the Bhurlok or some other thing?
Which one?
The
Which
second level, or is it somewhere else?
what lies in the second level or somewhere else?
Ghosts or apparitions that some people talk about.
Apparitions.
Right. Ghosts, you can say bhoot, pret, etc.
No, they live in lower worlds. They interact with us in this world, but their existence, the ghosts live in more tamasic existence. Their existence is more tamasic. You see, it is very simple to understand. As we go to higher existence, like Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, then Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, these are higher levels. They are more sattvic. When Sattva Guna is more, as Sattva Guna, the influence of Sattva Guna is more, we go into these higher states of existence. We feel happier. We feel less burdened by our existence, by our thoughts, anxieties. Even in most difficult situations, there are no anxieties in the mind. The mind is very clear in its thinking. It has very clear perspective. So that is sattva, the effect of sattva. And that is how the devas live. The devas and the tapasvis, the great yogis who go to the higher states of existence. The ghosts, rakshasas, pishachas, those words are used, right? Pishachi, pishacha, rakshasa. They live in the lower states of existence. They are more tamasic, rajasic and tamasic. That is why those who worship them also are tamasic people. People who are more sattvic, they worship the deities like Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, etc. You follow?
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Sarthak.
Yes, Pranam, sir. I had a question on the similar lines.
Hmm.
So, sir, like you said that as one moves in the upper lokas, so the sattva level increases. Also,
Yes.
you had told story about Rishi Vashisht, who was very much sattvic. He was almost 100% sattva. He's
Yes.
said to be the Manasputra of Brahma Rishi,
Brahma.
right?
Brahma. Yeah. Brahma.
Brahma. So, sir, I have heard in some places that people associate different Puranas with different, what to say, supreme deities. For example, I've heard that there are Puranas classified as uh, Vishnu centric, Brahma centric, and Shiva centric. And now people give the justification that these are based on different gunas. Say, Vishnu is for sattva, Shiv is for tamas, and Brahma is for rajas. So I wanted to know if this is true because I could not understand why Brahmadev is being associated with rajas.
No, that is just a classification for the administrative responsibility of the three gunas. That's all. It is not said that Shiva is in tamas or Brahma is in tamas. They are not in tamas. They are all in Vishuddha Sattva, like Vishnu. When this universe is created, within this universe, there are different functions. Just like in the country, in India, for example, or in any country, there are so many administrative functions to run the country. So there is a department of water, there's a department of fire, there's a department of electricity, there's a department of whatever, sewage. So there are different departments taking care of different functions to run the country properly. In the same way, there are different functions to run this universe. And one of the important mechanisms that runs this universe is the three gunas of Prakriti, right? The three gunas are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. They are like the three ropes, you can say. The word guna in Sanskrit means ropes. And so if you see the usage of this word guna in the 14th chapter, the words are used in the sense of binding, right? So you can say the guna represents ropes. They are like three big ropes or three sets of ropes, three types of ropes with which the living entities are bound to this universe. So the mechanisms of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, administratively, they are run by three forms of Vishnu. They're called Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. Okay, original Narayana is the source of them. So Brahma is, under his office it comes. The Rajoguna comes under his office. Under Shiva's office comes Tamoguna. That's all. It doesn't mean Shiva is in Tamoguna. Shiva is not in Tamoguna. He is in Vishuddha Sattva always. He's a form of
Sir,
Vishnu.
can you please elaborate more on Vishuddha Sattva? Is it the same as Shuddha Sattva or
Yes, it's
what?
a higher state of Sattva, beyond Sattva. When even that deity is free from even Sattva Guna. We say Vishuddha Sattva. Nirguna.
So, sir, basically, Rajas and Tamas are required to keep people in Maya. Otherwise,
All
people
three
will
of
be
them,
free from Maya.
Sattva also. All the three gunas keep us in Maya. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. They're all binding us in different ways, different types of desires. They bind us, you see, or different levels of ignorance, ajnana, different levels of ajnana. When somebody is very sattvic, they are also not mukta. They are not free from ajnana, but the level of ajnana is very low compared to somebody in tamas or somebody in rajas. So
So, a
as we
theoretical
go,
question.
yeah.
Yes, sir, please continue.
Yeah. See, for example, in the third chapter, when Sri Bhagavan is describing about how kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidhyena meha vairinam. And then he says, dhumena avriyate vannihi yatha darsho malena cha yatholbena vrito garbha tata tena idam avritam. He's talking about how ajnana covers the jnana of the living being, the knowledge, the pure knowledge, because the living being, the jivatma, each of us is a jivatma, is actually by default having pure knowledge in us. We are knowledge actually, but we are not in contact with it. Why? Because we are actually attached to ignorance. Ignorance is covering us. So in this shloka, 3 levels at which ignorance is covering us. The first level, or the mildest level, you can say, is dhumena avriyate vannihi, smoke covering fire. So sometimes there's a fire and there's smoke surrounding it. And in between the smoke, you can see the fire. Sometimes you can see the flames coming out. And you will see the smoke also, both smoke and fire, both are visible. But more importantly, the fire is able to perform its function when it is in that condition also. So the fire's consciousness, so you can say if consciousness is the equivalent of, performance of the function, then even in that condition, fire can do its job of heating. Suppose you're using fire for cooking or burning something. Even with the smoke, the burning will happen. It will not stop. Now, that is one level. That is a level of sattva in it. Means when there is sattva, there is ajnana. But even though there is ajnana, there is also a high level of jnana. There's awareness of jnana. So that person who is in sattva is very unlikely to do something adharmic. Because of being in sattva, there is consciousness that there is shastra. I should follow dharma. धर्म के अनुसार ही जीवन करना है, अधर्म नहीं करना है, अधर्म में पाप होता है, पाप करने से दुख हो जाएगा. So this kind of बुद्धि, विवेक, मन में विवेक रहता है. So that is because of sattva. So अज्ञान भी है. अज्ञान मतलब there is desire to enjoy. Okay, he's not free from desire. He's not free from binding. He's attachment to his whatever family or house and everything. All the attachments are still there. But take the second.
Isn't this desire cause of, due to rajas and not sattva?
Yeah, so there is
even
along
a little
with that,
bit of desire.
Correct. So so we are never free from all the 3 gunas. All the 3 gunas exist. Sattva is very high. That's all. Sattva dominates. Okay, the second is when rajas dominates. Sattva and tamas also are present, but much smaller degree. Rajas dominates. So the second one, dhumena avrihate vannihi yatha darsho malena cha. Adarshaha means the mirror. Adarsha means mirror. Malena, by dust. Yes. Malam means dust. A mirror covered with dust is still a mirror only, but it does not perform its function. You can feel the mirror. Okay, I can see the mirror on the wall. I can see the mirror. I know the mirror is there. And I can go there and stand before it. But I can't see my reflection. Why? Because the dust is covering it. So that is when ajnana is so much. Jnana is there. I know that there is knowledge. I know, मतलब मेरे को मालूम है कि ये धर्म है. I know कि ये गलत है, ये ठीक है. Theoretically मालूम है. Theoretically I know everything, but I am not able to do it.
Like Duryodhan.
Yes, something like Duryodhan. Yes. Duryodhan knows theoretically. Of course, his theoretical knowledge also is limited because he doesn't accept some things. If you see that, some things he knows dharma, adharma, but in some places, even that theoretical knowledge doesn't exist because of the 3rd level. So in the case of a mirror, the mirror is there. It doesn't perform its function. In the case of this one, that knowledge is in your mind. It is correct. You appreciate the person who is following dharma, but you are not able to do it. Okay, that's the condition of many of us. The 3rd level is when, what is that? Dhumena avriyate vannihi yatha darsho malena cha yatholbena avrito garbha. Ulbena avritaha garbha. Garbha means the embryo. The word garbha is also used to mean the womb, but actually here in this shloka, it means the embryo inside the womb. Ulbaha means the womb, and inside the womb is the embryo. The embryo is covering the womb. The womb is covering the embryo. Womb is covering the embryo, because of which that embryo becomes a baby, and at some point of time, it gets consciousness. The Bhagavatam also describes that. But even after it gets consciousness, and that actually we don't need to even go to Bhagavatam, because even you ask any mother who has had a child, she will tell you that after some time the baby starts moving inside. She can feel the baby moving and kicking its legs and beating its hands and all. So the baby is now actually conscious. It's conscious. It's able to feel. It's able to think. It's able to probably it's wanting to say something, right? but it cannot. It cannot do anything. It's helpless. It's bound there. It is stuck there for some more months. It has to complete that full cycle and then only it can come out. Right? So that is the condition of a person whose consciousness, whose tamoguna is so high. That's a state of tamas, where even that theoretical awareness of knowledge of dharma versus adharma is not there. Whatever is dharma looks like adharma. Whatever is adharma looks like dharma to such a person. What is right looks like wrong. So if such a person sees somebody performing dharma, he will laugh at him. Arey bewakoof hai, kya kar raha hai? Puja karke baitha hua. He'll make fun of him. He'll make, sarcastic comments on him. Correct? And we see that happening around us. So that is tamas, means even where basic theoretical knowledge is absent, willingness to accept even that theoretically is not there. Forget about, practicing it. So three levels. Yeah. So ghosts and pisachas. So Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, definitely, they are not like that. They are all beyond sattva also. They are not even
Sir,
bound by sattva guna.
Sir, for theoretically speaking, if someone has, say, no rajas or tamas, only sattva, and since
Yeah.
sattva stands for knowledge, so isn't that being also beyond the guna? I mean, फिर वो कैसे बंधा हुआ है? अगर सिर्फ
Normally,
सत्व.
until somebody gets mukti, only in the state of mukti when can somebody go beyond sattva. Otherwise, all the three gunas will be present. Even for somebody in a very high level of sattva, there is a little bit of rajas and tamas present in them. Okay, according to the Bhagavad-gita, all the three gunas exist as long as somebody is not a mukta. Only when somebody is a mukta, then the three gunas will go away.
So, sir, what would you say about Jivan Muktas, say like Adi Shankaracharya or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an incarnation, but say Ramana Maharshi, so great personalities like these.
So whichever person is actually a Jivan Mukta, he is beyond the three gunas. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or probably Adi Shankaracharya also. So whoever, of that level who has actually attained mukti, a Jivana Mukta, is beyond the three gunas. That is the meaning of Jivana Mukti. Otherwise, a person is not a Jivana Mukta. Of course, the term may be used to see now, depending on the sampradaya. In the understanding that I have, that is how Jivan Mukta is described. But it is possible that in some other sampradaya, maybe in the Shankara sampradaya, they accept somebody at a high level of Sattva Guna as a Jivan Mukta. Because that person is in a state of Sthita Pragyata. Sthita Pragya, in the second chapter, we talk about Sthita Pragya and we say Samadhista, a person who is in Samadhi, who is in full control of himself. Okay. And he says, in that person, even though there may be some tamas or rajas in them, those are ineffective. The sattva is so strong in that person that that person will definitely get mukti at the point of death. So that person, when living, is as good as a mukta. So they may be referring to a Jivan Mukta in that sense also. It's possible.
Yes, sir.
There are these small variations between sampradayas.
Sir, you also talked about a Leela by Shri Brahma, wherein he kidnaps all the gopas, the small boys from Vrindavan, and there was this Leela. So what was the cause of this Leela? So was it his rajas or he did it in complete sattva? So what would we ascribe to it?
The cause of the Leela is nothing but Sri Bhagavan's Yoga Maya. Because when Sri Bhagavan comes and he does whole avatar, he's coming here and staying here on this Prithvi for so many years. So during that time, he creates so many Leelas with his own bhaktas. Brahma is a bhakta, no? He's a Mahabhagavata. He's a bhakta of Bhagavan. So with all his bhaktas, he creates different Leelas. His Yoga Maya does that. So it's not because of Tamoguna, it's because of his Yoga Maya that Brahma is put into that condition where he's just like Arjuna is put into a condition here. Arjuna is a Nitya Mukta, but he's put into a condition of confusion. And we see so many things happening in the Gita. Arjuna is asking so many questions. He's between getting confused, getting frightened. So all that is part of his Yoga Maya. That's the Leela of Bhagavan. That's why we call it Leela. Leela means that which is arranged by Yoga Maya. It is not under the Punya and Papa that we experience. not in the cycle of punya and papa. So Rajoguna doesn't come there. It is Yogamaya who arranges that to happen. Brahma is put into that condition where he thinks that this is just a small kid in Vrindavan and tries to joke with him, all that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the
Hmm.
explanation.
So,
Yeah, Kedar, yes.
so one thing we are aware that forgiveness is good.
Hmm.
We should forgive people.
Yes.
My question is there any threshold beyond which forgiveness is stupidity? If I hurt you, you would like to forgive me because you are under control, like your emotions are under control, and you would like to forgive people. If I keep hurting you continuously, what is suggested? What is your opinion here?
Yeah. So you see how a person who is spiritually mature. So his question is about forgiveness. For those who are online, I'm just repeating what he said. To what extent should we be forgiving? He said a saintly person, a spiritually advanced person is forgiving to others. When others offend that person, the saintly person will forgive them. What is meant by forgiveness, and to what limit can we forgive somebody? When should we draw the line and not be forgiving? So it's like this. In my understanding, you see, forgiveness is something that comes from the perspective of seeing the reality as it is. We are able to see that the person who has committed an offense to me or someone dear to me has done that because of that person's ignorance. Out of ignorance, out of maya, out of ajnan, and under the influence of the three gunas, that person has acted. He is a helpless person. Out of his desires, he is bound in this samsara, he is suffering. And out of his own suffering, he is behaved in that manner. And this is how Yudhishthira saw the Kauravas. Yudhishthira went through so much suffering imposed upon him by the Kauravas, especially Duryodhana. He saw them through this lens, that these people are suffering because of Maya. They are in complete ajnana. They don't know God. They don't know Krishna. They don't know reality. And because of that, they are behaving in this manner. So it's just like a small child. Suppose a 2-year-old baby, you're going to a park and there's a 2-year-old baby playing there. And in the course of playing, that baby picks up some mud and throws on you. Do you feel offended? You will not feel offended. In fact, you may actually enjoy it. It may look funny. And you will make some joke. You may give some fruit or something to play with that baby. Right? And you may ask the baby to do something more like that. So how are you looking at the baby? You're looking from a completely different vision. You have the vision of reality that this is only a small baby. It doesn't know what it is doing. When spiritual maturity has reached to a level when you're able to see that most living beings in this universe are in that condition, that they don't know what they are doing. They are suffering. When somebody genuinely sees that, then the forgiveness becomes genuine. They are genuinely able to forgive. They're able to overlook that. It's not only a external utterance. It's not like externally saying that I forgive you. Externally, he may not say anything, but internally, he will not feel offended. Genuinely, he will not feel offended because he's able to see it like that. Okay, now the logical question comes, okay, that means people like Duryodhana will continue to exist. Should we allow them to go on offending others? Where should we act? Okay. So even without feeling offended, depending on our role in society, in what role we are put, and how much authority we have, and what role we should play there, the spiritually mature person is also practically wise, has practical wisdom. It's called prajna, vivek. So he knows how to act in the correct way. If a person is doing wrong, regardless of whether it's offensive to me or not offensive to me, then for the benefit of society, that wrong has to be corrected. If that person has done a crime, not only because it's offensive to me, even if I didn't feel offended, that person has to be put behind the bars. So he will do the right thing. He will go to the concerned authority and he'll file a complaint. Or if in that situation he has to physically attack that person, he will do that. So spiritually mature, he is forgiving in the heart, but in his external action, he will take action. The right action has to be taken. So forgiveness does not mean a false sense of niceness, falsely showing niceness to somebody. That is not the meaning of forgiveness. Forgiveness is an internal feeling of seeing reality from a higher level, but acting practically in a wise manner, in an appropriate manner.
So we may forgive somebody,
Yes,
that's a different thing,
yes,
but we have to act practically
yes.
based on the context, the situation,
According to what is appropriate,
what is
appropriate in that context.
Okay.
What is the right behavior in that context, which is good for, which will have a good positive outcome in the long term.
Understood.
It's just like a father dealing with his children. Father will be punitive to the children because for the long-term good,
Yeah.
the children have to be rectified from what wrong they're doing. So the spiritually mature person thinks of society as a whole and says, if this wrong is going to continue, it's not because he insulted my wife, but it's because if he is allowed to continue like this, he will create a lot of havoc in society. So he has to be corrected. So this is the way to reconcile the two. So practical wisdom is not given up. Forgiveness is not an artificial, it's not an external thing. It's not an external sense of niceness. It's not about nice behavior. That's my understanding. So ultimately, the Gita, in fact, all our Shastra, you see the Mahabharata, Ramayana, the Puranas, the Upanishads, they teach us about internal transformation. Transformation is not just external. The external behavior changes as a result of internal transformation, but the internal transformation is the real thing. It's the root. It's an inside-out philosophy. The inside should change. Outside will change if it has to change.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, Shomodeep, yeah.
Yeah, the question is that, sir, what happens to the consciousness when somebody gets mukti?
The question is, what happens to consciousness when someone gets mukti?
Yes.
Mukti is a state of perfect consciousness. Means the consciousness is at the best possible that it can be. It is fully bright. It's like a lamp. I'll give you an analogy of a lamp or a bulb. A bulb covered by dust, a bulb which is burning at low voltage. Suppose a bulb is burning at very low voltage, it is dim or it's covered by dust. Then it's not really what it ought to be. Now imagine the bulb is fully clean in a very clear environment, in a clear ambience, and it is having its full voltage, the voltage at which it is supposed to work. Then how will it look? It will look bright. It will light up the room. It will look good, right?
Yes, sir.
That is perfect consciousness in mukti. In mukti, one's consciousness becomes perfectly clear. One's thinking is perfectly clear. One feels completely free from all anxiety. One does not require anything which one feels the need for currently. Currently, we have so many needs, right? We feel the need for, for example, sleeping. We feel the need for eating some tasty food. A lot of different cravings come to us every now and then, right?
Yes.
So all those cravings go away. The mind is completely, that's the meaning of liberation. Liberation means nothing is dragging us. We're free, completely free in the mind. That is the state we would want to be in, right? Perfect happiness. That's a state of perfect happiness.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Arunabha.
Sir, pranam, sir. Sir, I'll go back to the question of the forgiveness, sir. I mean, from that perspective, sir, there was one incident and some follow-up questions. Sir, there was an incident, and if I'm not wrong, it was Shishupal or someone who abused Krishna, who started abusing Krishna in a courtyard or somewhere, and then Krishna, after 100 vices, then he served the head of that person using Sudarshan Chakra.
Yeah, Shishupala, yes.
Shishupal, right, sir? So now going back to the concept of forgiveness, then so there are instances where actions have been taken. based on, say, the person's stand in the society. Okay.
Yes.
Then the question comes, I mean, from us humans, we are in the Bhuloka. We are not in any other loka, we're in the Bhuloka. So given our position in the society, where does the role of emotion come in, and where does the role of self-esteem has to stop? I mean, what are the outer contours of these two things, emotions and self-esteem, sir?
Oh, okay. I got it. What are the outer contours of emotions, self-esteem, and you can say all other kinds of different feelings and attitudes that we have?
Sir.
You see, if you want to use the Shishupala episode as a reference for this, you get a path to analyze this, because ultimately, what is Sri Bhagavan trying to demonstrate through the Shishupala episode? What happened in the Shishupala episode? In that episode, it happens in the Rajasuya Yajna of Yudhishthira, in which, at the beginning of the Rajasuya, there is something called the Agra Puja. The most elder or the most deserving person in the assembly has to be worshipped first or honored first. And after the most honorable person is given their honor, then all the others are also honored in the assembly. All the guests are honored, right? So the question comes, who is the first person to be worshipped? Who's the first person should be honored before we begin the Rajasuya Yajna? So when this question is raised and Yudhishthira asks to Bhishma, without any thinking, without any doubt in his mind, immediately says it should be Krishna. So Yudhishthira is able to accept that because he knows why Bhishma is saying that. Krishna, after all, is Bhagavan himself who has come. Krishna is not just a human being. Now, from another angle, which Shishupala brings to the argument, Shishupala is not seeing Krishna as Bhagavan. Shishupala sees him like a prince, a Kshatriya prince who has come there. Because Krishna actually is not a king. He is in Dwaraka. He's come from Dwaraka. And in Dwaraka, what is he? He's not the king of Dwaraka. His relative, grandfather, the person who is related with him as a grandfather, elder, Ugrasena is the king, and his father Vasudeva is also there. And Krishna is living there like a prince, a wealthy prince. He's just a wealthy prince living a very luxurious life with his wife and everything. And now he's come. He's got a lot of money. He's got chariots, all those things. So Shishupala raises the question that when so many powerful people are present here, so many great kings are present here, why did you pick Krishna? It doesn't make any sense to me. Krishna should not be picked. So he makes a whole, he raises a whole tirade there. He just attacks Krishna. And then halfway through his attack, they stop him. Bhishma stops him. Yudhishthira stops him. He starts walking out. Yudhishthira goes and stops him and requests him to please come back. He comes back. Then Bhishma counsels him. Different people try to tell him why Krishna was given the Agra Puja. This Agra Puja is over when Shishupala starts this. Agra Puja is over, and then he starts talking like this. So they try to explain to him that, look, Krishna is Bhagavan. He is not just an ordinary prince. Yes, from a human perspective, he is just an ordinary prince. He is not a king. There are many powerful kings higher than him. But he is not at all that. He is actually Bhagavan himself who has now come in that role. That is how we should see him. And therefore, Bhagavan, who is the source of all the dharma. Okay, dharmam hi sakshat, dharmam tu sakshat, bhagavat pranitam. Okay, now this Rajasuya Yajna is an activity of dharma. And our life is about dharma. We are supposed to live by dharma. Living by dharma is the source of happiness. Krishna is the source of all dharma. He is the basis of all dharma. And therefore, he has come personally here. So what can be higher than worshipping him?
Correct.
Even higher than the Rajasuya Yajna itself is worshipping him. Okay. Now, what do we learn from this? Ultimately, Shishupala doesn't accept all that. And therefore, after he completes that, 100 aparads, then Krishna beheads him with the Sudarshan Chakra. And eventually, Shishupala, the Jivatma, goes into his body. Basically, the next Leela happens after that. He's, whatever. The Leela is connected to that Vaikuntha Leela of the curse that they get, Jaya Vijaya. Now, what is the lesson? The lesson is that dharma is that which should be upheld at all costs. That is the point being made. And everything should be acted upon or seen through the lens of dharma. Shishupala did not understand dharma. Shishupala completely went against dharma in attacking Krishna there with his words. He was unwilling to accept dharma. Completely unwilling. He brought his own interpretation of dharma there. That's why it is said that, when people are in that mode, so he's put in that mode actually. It's a Leela of Bhagavan anyway. So in this case of Shishupala, he's put in that mode where he's talking about adharma as dharma and dharma as adharma. Opposite.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So the lesson for us is that we should not see it like that. We should understand dharma correctly and live by dharma. To put it in a nutshell, our emotions, our actions, everything should be aligned to dharma. We should assess the way we feel, the way we think, the way we act through the lens of dharma. That is what is being taught in that episode.
Sir, I don't have any question. It's just about the Sharnagati point you mentioned. It has been mentioned multiple times in Bhagavad-gita about the Sharnagati, and I remembered chapter 7 and chapter 9, where it was told that you forget everything and surrender to me, and I shall deliver you of all your sins.
Yes.
Just wanted to know.
Yes, correct. He promises protection to those who surrender to him. Yes. I'm grateful to all of you for raising very good questions and giving me an opportunity to speak on this.
So,
yes, Anjana, you had a question?
just a reiteration request. If you can just reiterate the 6 components of a refuge that you were mentioning, it would be helpful, I think, for all of us to just
Okay,
remember.
I will say it once now, and then you can meet me in person. I will explain to you once again elaborately. You can meet me anytime in the coming days. But
Sure.
now I'll say it once. The shloka is like this. Anukulyasya sankalpaha, doing that which is pleasing to Bhagavan. Pratikulyasya varjanam, rejecting anything that is not pleasing to him, that which makes him unhappy. Rakshishyati iti vishwaso, adopting the conviction, nurturing the conviction that he will protect me. Goptritve varanam tatha, accepting him as one's owner, accepting oneself as his belonging, as his property. Atmanikshepaha, giving oneself to him, completely handing over oneself to him. And karpanyam, accepting insignificant position in front of him, accepting oneself as very insignificant in front of him. So these are the 6 dimensions of Sharanagati, Shadvida Sharanagatihi. Here, a very minor point, I forgot to mention that earlier, but I'll mention it now. That last line, Atma Nikshepa Karpanye, that is interpreted by some scholars as, you see, in Sanskrit, when you split a sandhi, Atma Nikshepa Karpanyam. So, Atma Nikshepaha Akarpanyam. Some people take that last word as Akarpanya, means not insignificant. What they mean is that in front of Bhagavan, you are handing over yourself as a servant, but your meekness is only in front of him. In this world, you don't become insignificant. You have a significant role to play. You have a responsibility to play. So you get rid of weakness, akarpanya. Karpanya also means weakness of heart, the feeling of low self-esteem, the feeling of incapability, lack of confidence. I can't do anything. There are people, everybody around me is very capable. I'm incapable. That feeling. Okay. So that is called karpanya. That's another meaning of karpanya. Lack of self-esteem. So a bhakta does not have that. A bhakta has very high self-esteem. He is very insignificant. In his mind, in front of Bhagavan, he is very insignificant from the spiritual perspective. But from a practical perspective, he's got a very high self-esteem. He's got a very high sense of confidence because he has taken shelter of Bhagavan. Because of that, he feels very confident that whatever he does, he will do the right thing. He will not do the wrong thing. And therefore, the right outcome will result. So, akarpanya. Okay, so the word karpanya there can be split in 2 ways. One is as karpanya and also as akarpanya. Lack of miserliness or lack of weakness. Okay, so all these things I can discuss with you if you want to. You can meet me sometime in the week also. Good.
Yes, sir.
So shall we close for today? It's 8 o'clock now. So as I do the Antyamangalam, I'm going to today chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and I'm going to chant it 3 times. And when I chant the mantra, I would like all of you who are present here and also present online to chant with me at that time. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Gobrahmanebhyo Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. धन्यवादाः. पुनर्मिलामः.